Hey guys, I'm back here again for a review, and for today's review, I'm going to be talking about the newest short film, which was done by Zooma Jr. I've done reviews of his last, short films that he's put up. He's a very young, sort of up-and-coming, film director. I forget his age, but he's very young, and his father helps him out with his, his horror films, and he basically just does them, with his friends and his family, and he's just a young kid who's got all these really cool ideas for horror films, and I've really enjoyed, his films that he's done before, and I enjoyed this new one as well. This new film is called The Wish, and this movie focuses kind of on a very mature subject that for a child his age, I don't want to call him a child because it makes him sound, younger. I want to say a kid his age. I never really expected him to, do a film based on this, and it's kind of a mature subject. But the film is about child abuse, and what goes on with what happens to kids during child abuse, and it is an emotional film. Basically, it follows Zuma Jr. plays the main character in the film, and it's him and his sister, and they are actually being abused by, I believe it's their father. It never, I don't think yeah, it's his father, who is actually played by his father in real life, Zuma, and yeah, they basically just get abused, and it's the trouble that they go through of having to deal with this pretty much every day. In the opening scene, you see his sister is sitting there crying, and she just doesn't want to go home because she knows that their father is just going to beat them, and really upset. And he keeps telling her, I'm going to protect you. I'm not going to let him hurt you. But when they get home, they ended up staying out a little late, and the father's angry that they stayed out late. And in the opening scene, you see him sitting there drinking. So he's a heavy drinker, and you see him sort of sitting there, with his hands in his his head in his hands, and you kind of get the idea that he may. It kind of made me feel like that he felt guilty, or he felt angry or upset over something, and then he's taking out the anger upon the children. I don't know if that was the intention of that scene, but that's what I got from it. And, he's angry that they didn't come home when he wanted, them to be there, and he ends up, he carries around his belt all the time, and he ends up going in there and beating them. It's not overly dramatic. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but it's not like, you don't actually see him, getting hit or anything like that. It's nothing like that, but you basically see it happening, and in a way where it's not like overly dramatic or anything, but you do, kind of see it happening, and it's kind of hard to watch a bit. But after Zuma gets hit as many times, Zuma Jr., he says, I wish my mother was still here, and I think that that sort of it got an idea in my head that I believe that their mother is dead. They don't explain that how either she's dead or she has left them, or they don't explain what happens, but you kind of get that idea that something happened to her. And after he wishes that, it makes the father even more angry. He goes and he just hides in his room. As the movie goes on, the two children, they continue to plan to run away, and they do, I think Zuma Jr. also does the makeup, so there are marks on their faces. I think he did a good job with the makeup in the film. The brother and sister, they both have marks on their faces, and they both continue to say that they want to run away. Well, one night they find the father passed out drunk, and he's holding what looks like one of those lamps, like those, I call them the Aladdin lamps, because it's the lamp that Aladdin, he rubbed and the genie came out. It's one of those type of lamps, and, they don't know what it is, but they go back to, Zuma Jr.'s room with it, and they're saying, oh, this looks like one of those lamps that you make wishes on. And then the sister says, well, I wish that all this pain would just go away. And from that point on, things start happening, and it does get pretty suspenseful. I don't want to give too much away, but There are certain things about the film that I noticed. For one thing is in every single one of Zuma Jr.'s um, in every single one of his films, he uses a lot of dolls. You know, I can tell that dolls are something that he has used in all of his movies, and he uses them as like a really, really creepy thing. He's got a lot of like older dolls, like you know, the older little girl dolls with like big dresses. They look very old-timey, you know, the kinds that you would see probably like you know, in antique stores and stuff like that with the big dresses and the long hair. And he uses them in a lot of scenes. And they're pretty effective, I must say. Just have them sit there and have one of the characters just stop and stare at it. And, you know, I noticed that that has gone on in a lot of its films. But as the movie goes on, you know, it gets more and more intense, and then it leads up to a climax, you know. Now, my own thoughts, I'm not going to give anything away about the ending, but I must say I didn't really understand the ending. You know, that's just what I'll say about it. I think that there's a deeper meaning into it. But all in all, I must say this is a really, really good film. They did a really, really great job. You know, I've been a big fan of, you know, his last short films, and I think that he did a really good job with this one. Especially for a child his age, you know, he's now dealing with stuff like, you know, alcoholism, you know, the father, and child abuse in his films. And I think that those are very mature subjects. And it really shows how mature he is, you know, and that he wants to present those in his films. And I really did like that because his last films, you know, like his last, or one of his last films was about a haunted house. And that, you know, I like that story because it was just you know, a ghost story or, you know, something like that, and then he goes and he does something, you know, that's more mature like this, and I really like that. You can really tell that the kid, he has range, and he has different ideas for films, and each movie has been unique in its own way, and that's one thing I really enjoy. But yeah, I must say, I definitely recommend checking out The Wish. It's on the, you know, his father, he uploads all of his son's short films to YouTube. It's on his channel. I'll leave a link down below to The Wish underneath this video. I will also leave a link down below to all of his other short films because I really do like his work, and I can honestly see this kid making some really great films when he gets older. I mean, if he's doing stuff like this, you know, 20, 30-minute movies, you know, this young, then who knows what he can do. And I really like that idea. I think it's really, you know, it's a really cool idea that he's going to grow up and he's going to be doing this stuff. I'm sure he is. And the stuff that he will do in the future, you know, I'm really looking forward to doing that. So, like I said, I'll leave links down below to all of the films, including this one. And like I said, you know, got good subject matter, like I said, good mature subject matter. You know, abusing scenes, they're not overly dramatic, so it's not like, you know, you understand that's happening, but, you know, it's not like hard to watch a lot, but at the same time, you know that this happens to kids like every day, and it is a sad thing, and, you know, it's something that just happens in our society that doesn't seem like it's ever really going to go away, and it is kind of sad. But, you know, like I said, check the movie out. You know, I think it's a really good one. It's only about 21 minutes long, and check out all of his other films. I'll leave them all down below, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do next. You know, I'm really excited for his next film, and, you know, it's just crazy seeing young kids like this, and they're coming out with these awesome horror films, you know, and it's a really, you know, it's really cool to see that, you know, how horror films have done that now. You know, like anybody can do a horror film, even younger kids or, you know, whoever you are. And I think that watching films like this can help other aspiring young film directors, you know, or kids that want to do horror films. They can watch something like this and say, oh, well, he did that movie, I can go out and do this. And I think that, you know, we're going to be seeing a lot more younger, you know, very young horror directors or just directors coming out, and I think it's really cool to see that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that's going to go. So anyway, to Zooma, thank you once again for sending me your son's film. I really did enjoy this, like all the other ones. I know my review is a bit, you know, about a week late, but thank you for sending it to me. Thank you for introducing me to your son's work. I'm really a big fan, and I really hope that a lot of people will see this and, will enjoy it as well. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have seen any of his films, definitely let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and check out his films down below. Anyway, guys, hope everyone has a good night, and I'll see you guys later.